p.m., a protest, a peaceful march that took place at Lipton Circus. It became very evident within only minutes of the march, less than 50 meters having walked, that the police and the state was very bound to use force and intimidation against those who were protesting, against the youth of this country that had come together in fighting against this oppression, in asking for the rights that any youth in this country truly deserve. The police used tear gas, they used the batons, and they used water cannons to disperse the groups. And very quickly, they also started arresting those who were attending the protest. It was only within less than 20-30 minutes they had taken into custody over 85 of the protesters, men and women, boys and girls who were part of yesterday's protest. We also know at this point in time that over 7 people have been injured and who have received treatment at the hospital for various kinds of injuries that were a result of the force that the police used. One of our comrades was in hospital and has received stitches on her face for being beaten by the police. And these are just some of the stories that have emerged from yesterday. So people would like to know at this point in time, why is there so much force? Why is there so much force against this voice of dissent? On Friday, just the day prior to our own protest, we noticed something. It was a public declaration by Ranil Rajapaksa naming multiple places in the city of Colombo, as areas of high security zones. High security zones that we understood were definitely put into place to safeguard those in power, not necessarily to safeguard anybody else. Some of these areas are residential areas, some of these areas are areas in which there are officers, and I suppose it will take some time for those people or those residents themselves to understand the issues of living within high security zones. But these are not decisions that are taken having consulted with the citizens of this country, but they are decisions that are taken to safeguard only those in power. So here we have high security zones that we will certainly contest, and as the lawyers who spoke before me have mentioned, have no basis. And we also understand that despite even having this conversation of high security zones, the route that we took as the SYU yesterday was not in conflict with these supposed high security zones either. So truly, there was no legitimacy or no legitimate reason for the police to arrest. Certainly today, as they produce these those who were protesting, those who were arrested before courts, we are certain that this will come to light, that there is no real legitimate reason. But we understand that Ranil Rajapaksa has a very keen interest in making sure that he makes all those who've been a part of the Aragalaya, in particular in the last few months, truly suffer. It's his malicious and personal vendetta in also keeping those who voted him in, predominantly those from the SLPP, to make sure that they have their security and to make sure that they have a safe space for themselves. This is not about the country. This is not about making sure that the youth of this country are safe. However, it is certainly done to make sure that he remains safe and those who brought him into power remain safe. Today, the youth of this country, we're using the term protesters, but if you really look at it, these are regular citizens of this country. Youth who are disenchanted by the fact that they have no work. Young boys and girls who are tired of listening to the very pitiful stories, their younger brothers and sisters not being able to have meals at home. An education system that is so broken. Young people whose aspirations for higher education, for family, for a better life, for joy, for peace in their lives These are the people who we are calling protesters. These are the people who are coming onto the streets. These are the people who are being beaten by the Ranil Rajapaksa government. So we ask this government over and over again, how much longer are you going to shut down the voice of dissent? How much longer will you continue to fight the youth of this country? It is now the youth, but tomorrow you will have more people join, because the real stability this country needs has not been met with. And we believe real stability can only be met with if there's a call for a fresh mandate. So Ranil Rajapaksa and his supporters, the stability regime, you can only last so long, because we know people are hungry, because we know people are tired, because we know people are fatigued. But despite however fatigued we are, the Aragalaya will continue. And the Aragalaya continues simply because of this, because living has become an Aragalaya. The Aragalaya did not end in July. The Aragalaya did not end when Ranil Rajapaksa came into power. The Aragalaya is continuous, and it will continue until the people have the power that they deserve. And this is a message that we want to give out to those watching, and in particular to those in power. Do not use your force and intimidation against us. Do not keep shutting down the voice of dissent. It is going to become an increasingly hard job for you. We hope you keep this in mind.